Hey guys, Jet888 here. It is December 9th. That's 1/9. We've got some fires going on in Los Angeles, which is in California. So the trauma-based activities continue here, and I'm going to just go over just a couple things. So here, just a minute ago that I saw, so 2 minutes now, CNN. It says officials mistakenly send evacuation warning to residents across Los Angeles County. So here's just an area, just an idea about the Los Angeles County that is being under fire. So you think all these people who are starting to get surrounded by this fire don't already have enough panic going on. But the officials somehow mistakenly send evacuation warnings to what they call residents, which are slaves. So let's call them Americans or people, men and women. Residents across the greater Los Angeles area mistakenly received an evacuation warning alert on their phones late Thursday afternoon local time. So don't you think that would set in a little bit of panic for people who've already been watching these fires encroaching on their homes nearby? So officials quickly worked to correct the notice, which had indicated that recipients should be ready to leave their area immediately if called upon due to surrounding wildfires. Another thing, these are not wildfires. These fires are made. They are created by the officials who are in control, allegedly. So Los Angeles County Supervisor Janice Hahn wrote in a post on X that many had received the alerts due by mistake. So they received alerts by mistake due to a technical error. So how many technical errors do we need to happen to people until people wake up and realize that technology might not be the best thing? She added that a correction will be issued shortly, but that's already after the panic has been allowed to set into these people, creating a trauma-based issue for them. It was meant to be for the areas impacted by the Kenneth fire in Woodland Hills. So zooming in here, here's the Kenneth fire right around Bell Canyon, and then when you head west towards the Santa Monica Mountains, there's your Pacific Palisades fire. And I think that the Palisades fire was the first fire to start. So here's a map of some of Southern California here. Here is the Palisades fire right here. And this says the Palisades fire, a roaring blaze that has burned over 17,000 acres since it broke out Tuesday morning in the affluent Pacific Palisades neighborhood of Los Angeles, is currently the largest wildfire in the region. It grew out of a brush fire that exploded as powerful winds ripped through the area. Right, the winds that were controlled by the weather modifiers. And yeah, the bushfire just exploded and became this, right? Give me a break. So just a quick look here. I think the word Palisades is interesting. That was the first fire to explode and start this whole thing off. And looking at the gematria, look at number 280. 280 is also reset. How convenient that we're in such a time for a reset. If anyone believes this, you're so naive. The English and simple numerology also for Palisades, I'll look at the simple gematria is 86. They're both the same. English and gematria, the same meanings. Here's just some of the numerology that is 516 and 86. We've got Citizen again, Pfizer 19, Black Swan, and Game Over. So again, here's a little bit of a map where all the fires are. Here's the Hearst fire, which if you look at the anagram for that, it's Hertz. Here's the Sunset fire. Here's the Palisades fire. Here's the Eaton fire over here. And down here, this is Raytheon. This is the headquarters for Raytheon right there. And just up north, let's see if I can get my phone to clear up. Also, here's the Hearst fire. So here you've got Lockheed Martin here, Lockheed Martin here. I just find that very interesting that it seems like Raytheon and Lockheed Martin are kind of surrounding where all these fires are going. And the reason why I bring up them is because I think that all these types of companies, like the aerospace stuff that's all into the electronic warfare stuff. Here they talk about Air Force and Navy have tapped Raytheon to design, build, and test systems that fry electronic components with blasts of energy. A company of division, the rebranded RTX, plans to deliver prototypes for the Directed Energy Frontline Electromagnetic Neutralization and Defeat Program, or DEFEND, in fiscal 2024 and 2026. Work on the high-power microwave antenna systems, as the company described them in an announcement earlier this month, is already underway in Tucson, Arizona. Its DEFEND contract is worth $31.3 million over 3 years. There's all your threes. So they're talking about the high-power microwave systems. And here's Raytheon's in their address. I think it's on Oak Street. Let's see. Hold on. But here's they found that their address at 999 was so important to blow up that big. So we've got the Raytheon building showing their address there. We've got the Raytheon. The Raytheon Technologies, along with Boeing also. And here's an interesting link I'll leave you guys in the description about Defense Science Board Task Force on Directed Energy Weapons, and it talks all about energy weapons, how they're going to use them. This is December 2007, Washington, D.C., under the Secretary of Defense for Acquisition, Technology, and Logistics. Watch this, see if it comes through. Isn't that interesting? This page is being blocked just a little bit, but when you tap on it, Raytheon, and it's at rtx.com, Raytheon, what we do, integrated air and missile defense lasers, high energy lasers. And I'll show you, I'll try to do it again, although I can't get the full page because it's blocking me. Look at that fire. Look at that has a fire moving across the page, and it says targets downed. Here we go. Let's see if I can play it again. Let's see what happens here. Interesting how that fire just goes across the landscape there. Here's one for the drones. Real threats, real solutions. And here, I'm not going to read the article, but just looking at the link, RTX's Raytheon awarded U.S. Army contract for wireless something, but November 14th, 2024, Raytheon, an RTX business, has been awarded a contract from the U.S. That's the U.S. Army, so United States, that's a business, that's a corporation, to work on directed energy wireless power beaming capabilities. And these guys are always talking about this mythology stuff. They always throw this stuff in. Look at that. From Thor's hammer to defend. The electromagnetic neutralization and defeat program. So directed energy front line electromagnetic neutralization defeat. So they use the word defend program. The weapons will use high-powered microwave antenna to bombard incoming drones, there's your whole drone thing, with enough energy to essentially fry their internal electronics, resulting blast should disable guidance control system, rendering them inoperable or even dropping them out of the sky altogether. And here they are again talking about Thor, developed by Air Force Research Labs, that also uses microwaves to down enemy drones, dubbed Thor. That's Tactical High Power Operational Responder. for the Norse god of thunder. The system was so successful. I mean, it's just ridiculous how they just constantly are talking about mythology. You know, mythology means a lie, right? It's a lie. And so also Raytheon has been working with high-powered microwave systems for 80 years, including systems like counter-electronic high-power microwave extended range air-based defense known as Chimera. How do you say that? So part of this thing that I got on archive regarding the direct energy weapons, there's the Office of Secretary of Defense. This is November 26, 2007. So copy and pasted. This says the record and obstacles. In spite of the promised delivery of high-power laser capabilities remains a potential for the future. In June 2001, the Defense Science Board provided a comprehensive assessment of the state of laser technologies in its report, High-Energy Laser Weapon Systems Applications, which addressed, among other tasks, what remains to be done to weaponize these systems. And I felt this is interesting. The Airborne Tactical Laser, ATL, undergoing an extended user evaluation at the end of a successful Advanced Concept Technology Development, that's ACTD, is not a program of record. That means it's a cult. They're hiding it. That means it's not for your eyes. It's secret. They talk about promising applications. The task force heard impressive descriptions of dozens of directed energy programs and activities, many of which seem technically feasible and operationally relevant, still given the generally low level of operational user needs. Now remember, this is in 2007. Assessment relevant to directed energy applications. It was not useful to fill this report with descriptions of many activities currently underway. So we're doing stuff, but we're not going to tell you. Instead, the focus is on a smaller number of promising applications that stood out, each supported by any number of activities, but few being pursued on a defined path to operationally useful fielded capability. They don't even tell you, they don't tell you anything. They say nothing here, except they're going to be doing some kind of damaging something, destructive something. As we have Lockheed Martin surrounding here are the fires right here. You got the Palisade fire that started first, Sunset fire, Eaton fire, Hearst fire, and over here by the Eaton fire, actually the NASA, the Jet Propulsion Laboratory, it seems like it skirted by without getting burnt up, but here's the Jet Propulsion Laboratory from NASA. Here's the Eaton fire, and let me go over here. I'm going to back out just a little bit to see where. Here's NASA. Here's the Hearst fire, Palisades fire, Sunset fire, Eaton fire. This is the Jet Propulsion area right in the middle of everything. Here's Eaton Canyon. Oh, I think it's over here. The NASA thing is over here, the propulsion thing, but here's the fire, but it's right in the middle of everything, but I don't think it got touched. I'm just going to read this to you. Directed energy weapon. A directed energy weapon is a ranged weapon that damages its target with highly focused energy without a solid projectile, including lasers, microwaves, particle beams, and sound beams. Potential applications of this technology include weapons that target personnel, missiles, vehicles, and optical devices, maybe like your eye. This is interesting too. Remember that whole movie about Santa Clarita Diet? It was about the cannibals. God, I think that there were a bunch of realtors and they ate people. It was supposed to be like a comedy and funny, but there you go. There's your Santa Clarita. There's your diet. It just looks like a big ritual to me. Maybe, is it a ritual for Trump coming into office? I don't know. Part of that 2007 document, the PDF thing, it says, the Office of the Secretary of Defense and Service Component Judge Advocate General Offices have determined that direct energy weapons are in and of themselves legal according to all U.S. laws, the laws of armed conflict, and are consistent with all current U.S. treaty and international obligations. Noting that directed energy weapons are legal does not imply that their use is in a particular that does not imply that their use in a particular situation is legal. There are situations where the use of a directed energy weapon could be contrary to U.S. or international law, you think? This consideration is the case with virtually any weapon. Yeah, you can abuse everything. So just my last statements here. So here's your high energy lasers, the visible light, infrared, and I'm going to read this to you. An incendiary weapon is a weapon specifically designed to start fires by using a flammable substance that produces heat and flame, causing burn injuries to people or destroying structures through the chemical reaction of that substance upon impact, often including materials like napalm, white phosphorus, or thermite. Remember 9/11? Oh, you want to see one more thing? Here's the zip code for Raytheon in Pasadena, California. It's 911. There's your 9/11. Thought that was just sort of interesting. So regarding that thermite, we've heard about that. Essentially a weapon that burns rather than explodes. Direct energy weapons, DEWs, are not incendiary weapons, but they can be used to create an incendiary effect. Directed energy weapons, these weapons use electromagnetic energy to damage or destroy a target. DEWs include high energy lasers, millimeter wave weapons, and microwave weapons. You know what's been going on for the last, especially since 2019? What have we been seeing a lot of being erected? A lot of these, cell towers. Those are microwave towers. Those are microwaves. And this is a big company in at least California. I know America. So American Tower. Look at the anagram for American Tower. It's New Crematoria. Does anyone think that's a little freaky? I do. So here are a couple questions. Does electromagnetic energy stem from a white microwave cell tower? Yes, a microwave cell tower is a source of electromagnetic energy as it emits radio waves which fall within the microwave frequency range of the electromagnetic spectrum. Essentially, cell towers generally a form of electromagnetic radiation considered microwave radiation. And at this website here, the fcc.gov, what biological effects can be caused by RF energy? Now this is different, but it's still electromagnetic frequencies and energy frequencies. Biological effects can result from exposure to RF energy. Biological effects that result from heating of tissue by RF energy are often referred to as thermal effects. So you think that you could take that RF energy and just put it on steroids, you'll get a huge thermal effect. It has been known for many years that exposure to very high levels of RF radiation can be harmful due to the ability of RF energy to heat biological tissue rapidly. This is the principle by which microwave ovens cook food. Exposure to very high RF intensities can result in heating of biological tissue and an increase in body temperature. So here's Raytheon. I just think, it's not just Raytheon. It's also Lockheed and Boeing. All these people use lasers and energy weapons. And I kind of feel like this is also a weird article. Wildfires latest, at least 5 people have died. I think they've called it 6 now. But when I scroll down here a little bit, so here's the first paragraph, and here, the second paragraph, they talk about the voting window for Academy Awards nominations has been extended. So they had to extend it and change the time because the fires are going to mess up the Oscar nominations. There's their priority. It's kind of like Biden when he came in and he said, well, at least one good thing, I have a new grandson, so this day will always be in memory for me, or something like that. It's like it's disturbing that all these people were losing their homes, and he's like, well, at least I'm having a good day. Frickin' Biden. So here's some firefighters here, and I thought this was interesting. Iconic reel-in fish market off of Pacific Coast Highway burns. So they talk about the fish market burning. And Biden and Mayor Bass discuss the wildfires. So you got a little bit of a fish theme going on here. So I thought that numerology was kind of interesting. The fish and bass, and fish is Boeing. And why can't they take things down like this? The Palisades fire threatened the Getty Villa. Everything Getty should be taken down. Oh good, it did catch fire. But that was 2 days ago. So as of 2 days ago, it says that the trees and stuff caught fire, but it's basically been spared so far. Fortunately, oh gosh, get rid of that. Fortunately, Getty has made extensive efforts to clear brush. Now I heard that there were some people in like the Pacific Palisades area, a lot of homeowners who wanted to clear brush, but were told that they weren't allowed to. That's what I've heard. So they cleared brush from surrounding areas, part of the fire mitigation effort throughout the year, but yet they didn't let homeowners do it. So yeah, they can do it. Some trees and vegetation on site have burned, but staff and collection remain safe. Yeah, you know that would. They won't touch their own. And in there they say is the most prized piece in the collection is the statue of a victorious youth. Yeah, you knew it had to be underage. So I guess there's been a court order, a big fight about that statue of the youth. And let me go up and show you. I'm not going to show his lower parts, but my goodness. And of course I had to bring this up again because in 1989 the Italian government asked the Getty to return the statue, asserting that the artwork had been illegally exported by the fishermen. It said that from that moment the artwork touched the fisherman's net. The statue became Italian property, nullifying the legality of the acquisition by the Getty. So they are a bunch of thieves also. So here's another symbolic picture that they show a burning Christmas tree with 3 panels, like the Father, Son, Holy Ghost or something, and there's your Christ in the middle. And here allegedly is a story about Victor Shaw, who lost his life holding a garden hose in his front yard. And the only reason why I'm a little suspicious about this is because he's 66 years old. And that's too bad. Anyone who's lost their life in this, I feel bad if it's true. Do you guys think that this is going to be another kind of Maui fire type of thing where there's a lot of people dead, and also Paradise, there's a lot of people who have died, but they're not telling people how devastating it was? Because I think it's probably going to be like that. One more quick little thing I think is interesting. Palisades, Sunset, and the Eaton fire, when you put those 3 together, is 911. Should actually be Palisades though, because it's Pacific Palisades. But I find it kind of interesting that Lockheed Martin and Raytheon basically surround all these fires, and the fires are in the middle of all these companies that just happen to have energy weapons. Okay, that's enough for now. Do you guys think that this is part of the global weather experiment? I don't know. We'll see. I wanted to read these concluding remarks. It says, we have analyzed the various components of diabatic heating through the depth of the atmosphere for one northern hemisphere winter month during FGGE, first special observing period, and we use these, and it is winter, and we use these fields to ascertain the role of the heating components in the atmospheric energy cycle. Our future plans involve examination of the heating fields and the related energy generation. So energy generation terms from a period during the northern hemisphere summer, and so the seasonal variability in atmospheric heating will be able to be studied. Sorry, it's hard for me to read through my phone. It should be stressed finally that the heating rates studied here have been produced by the physics package of the GLA analysis forecast system. GLA is a Goddard, I guess, Laboratory for Atmospheres, GLA. And down below it, available potential energy, I think I may have spelled that wrong. Available potential energy is APE, as in planet of. Let me start again. It should be stressed finally that the heating rates studied here have been produced by the physics package of the GLA analysis forecast system and so are model dependent. Further work comparing these heating fields with other estimates such as from thermodynamic methods, e.g. Johnson et al., is being planned. So thermodynamic methods are being planned. A thermodynamic method is a scientific approach used to analyze and understand processes involving change in temperature, energy transfer, and the relationships between heat and work, which can be applied to various scenarios, including fire, as fire is essentially a combustion process that releases heat energy and can be studied using thermodynamic principles. Therefore, fire can be considered involved when discussing thermodynamic methods in the context of combustion analysis. We're just all part of the big experiment. Okay, global weather experiment. That is a technical report published in 1986. And of course, it was at April 1st. I think it's all part of the Build Back Better plan. All right, guys, for now.